Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel today. We are going to be doing a reading for today's new moon happening in the sign of Taurus, however you want to say it. I usually say Taurus, but I've heard Taurus as well too, if you're wanting to be fancy. Now, new moons are a really incredible time for setting intentions, starting something new. It's when the moon is at its utmost potential. It's a blank slate, and so it's a really good opportunity for us to take stock of how far we have come along in our journey so far. But it's also a good time for us to start thinking ahead about what else it is that we want to accomplish. And especially what we want to accomplish by the full moon. That's why the new moon is an incredible time for setting intentions. This is also a really good time to perform any sort of cleansing or anything like that you would like to do. With it being a blank slate, it means that there is boundless potential and opportunity. And, you know, new moons are kind of like the cleaning of the slate for us in general. So clean your space too if you feel so called. With Taurus being an earth sign, this is also a really incredible time to focus on earth grounding rituals, earth-based rituals specifically. So this would be a really good time to, you know, get out there, get some sunshine, you know, touch grass, if you will, and just to connect with nature, connect with the outer world. And to, you know, also take the opportunity to ground yourself into reality. Ground your expectations. Making sure we're being clear with ourselves, you know, realistic about what it is that we're trying to achieve. Now, Taurus is a sign that is well known for its, I don't want to say stubbornness, because that has kind of a negative quality about it, but it's not stubbornness. It's this focus to be able to achieve anything that they set their mind to. They are unmoving, unwilling to be swayed from what it is that they want. And they have an incredible sense of knowing for themselves specifically. So, Taurus, this is Taurus season, so happy birthday to any of my May Tauruses, aka my husband. He just had his birthday yesterday, actually. So, happy birthday to him. Happy birthday to you, May Tauruses. Also, upcoming happy birthday to my May Geminis as well, too. So, I'm going to pull one more card for each of these sections here. Kind of just have like a section set up. We're going with the flow here. Section set up for like beginning, middle, and end of, not necessarily this month, but I guess for this past, present, future energy of what the collective is working with. I'm still kind of sick, so I apologize if my voice sounds a little bit weird and if I'm still, you know, not a 100% like energetic, right? I'm doing what I can and doing it as I feel capable of it. So we're going to start with first row. I know I said beginning, middle, and end, but I feel like this is a bit more past, present, and future. So, I mean, we are talking about setting intentions since this is a new moon right here. So let's look at the past energy here. To start off, we have the vulture spirit, which says nothing is wasted. So this actually kind of to me says that maybe you found yourself in a time of scarcity. Maybe you found yourself in a time where you really had to penny pinch or scrounge around for scraps, things to make ends meet. The vulture spirit, nothing is wasted, so it means that everything that you have, everything that you've given is something that's going to be important or something that you can use for your future. It's not so much a scarcity mindset as it is a mindset about trying to use everything that you have available to you. If you have come from a time of scarcity, then you know how important it is to use every piece that you have. And so the vulture spirit has a little bit of this energy of scarcity to it because this is someone who has known, you know, hunger or lack and things like that. And because of this, they have the experience and the knowledge of how important even the little pieces are. Because even the little pieces can add up to be something that is important, something that can, you know, In the case of food scarcity, something that can feed your family. In the case of money scarcity, something that can help keep a bill, from going to collections, things like that. So nothing is wasted. In the past, things may have felt very scarce, but it's also lent you with this knowledge about how to use these things in the future. Your other card that we had here in this, past position was the Three of Cups in reverse. And the Three of Cups is community. This is about friendships. This is about the relationships that we have with other people and things around us too. And so, this scarcity, a lot of this scarcity mindset may have come from feeling as though you don't have community or people that you can rely on. I feel like we also have the King of Wands that showed up here. So I feel like a lot of you are coming to this reading from a place of like independence. You went through this scarcity, this time where you really had to make things count. And, maybe some of you tried to reach out to your community. Some of you tried to reach out to people around you, and you just found that they weren't there for you the way that you needed them to be there for you. You may have found that, your community, the people of support around you, weren't there when you needed them most. And so you stepped into this place of extreme independence with the King of Wands. The King of Wands is someone who looks towards the future and they say, I can do whatever I set my mind to. They are extremely charismatic, but they're also extremely confident in their abilities, their capabilities. This almost has I always feel like the King of Wands has a very conquering aspect to it. I mean, the wand suit is literally about it kind of is, when you look at the whole setup of the wand suit itself, it is kind of set up as conquering and war and things like that. But this is not in a negative card for the King of Wands here. This is you specifically stepping up into your power as an individual. Even though you may have found yourself in a place of scarcity, in a place of having to be independent, this is your past energy. Now let's talk about what moving forward into your present energy is here. Your present energy here is the Parrot Spirit, which says, watch your words. Okay, so, I feel like a lot of this reading is about stepping into your potential. And one of the things that's going to keep you from your potential the most is the things that you say about yourself. It's the things that you say about your capabilities. And, the more that you speak negatively about yourself, the more that you can end up believing it. So watch your words. Make sure that you're not downing on yourself too much. Because, I felt like this first piece of the reading here felt pretty, I guess it kind of had a piece of negativity to it about, scarcity and not having things when you need them, right? But watching your words, you don't want to stay in that scarcity mindset, because the more that you use your words, the more that you affirm that, physically with your words, the more that you'll start to believe it. And we don't want to stay in that scarcity mindset. We want to kind of step more into this King of Wands energy from the first part of the reading, where it's, instead of being focused on what you don't have, this is being focused on what you do have and what you're capable of still, even with the little bit that you have. So, perspective, keeping your eye on the positive things, watching your words. Now let's talk about these two cards here, because you have the Nine of Cups in reverse and the Six of Swords in reverse. Let's talk first about the Nine of Cups in reverse. Now normally this card is like a wish fulfillment, right? And so for some of you, I feel like there's a dual energy here. Some of you, this card could be saying that, this wish was something that you really wanted for yourself that did not see fulfillment. Maybe there was some sort of roadblock currently in place, actually, because this is in your present energy, a roadblock in place to achieving this wish, this goal that you had for yourself. We went from this, past energy of lack to now, this blocked energy of your wish. And so I feel like, we had that Parrot Spirit with watch your words. Some of you, your own words could actually be blocking this wish that you want to achieve. Now, the other aspect, the second aspect of this that I mentioned, is that, you have a wish. You have something that is not necessarily here or fulfilled just yet. So some of you are battling this wish that has already in some way been blocked or unfulfilled, right? Some sort of roadblock has come up that's kept you from achieving it. Whereas some of you for this wish is like it's pending. Impending is what I was going to say. That almost has kind of like a doom aspect to it. But yeah, watch your words. Oh yeah, I think some of you maybe could be trying to manifest a wish for yourself that may be careful what you wish for. Is kind of is literally what I was hearing for that. Like, be careful what you wish for, because it might not be exactly what you think it could be. But yeah, I just feel like most of you, it's one of those two original ones about, being blocked from achieving this wish, specifically by your own words or actions. And then the other half is this wish just not being in a place of fulfillment. Like, this thing is still building or growing or incubating. That's the word. Then you had the Six of Swords in reverse. Now, what I'm really feeling with this Six of Swords, the Six of Swords is about moving on. It's about moving away from something with, the intention of a fresh start. I've turned this to the upright just so you can see what this card is. But when you see this card, this is almost like two poor people, like a parent and a child here in this boat, crossing this river with nothing but the clothes on their back, basically. They're carrying those swords with them, but they're, crossing away. And, it has this idea of like needing to rebuild and to move on after a painful experience. The painful experience being the Five of Swords. I almost feel like with this card being in the reverse is that a lot of you, if you are blocking your own wish from occurring because of your words, you need to move on from what this is. This feels like someone who has not healed a certain piece or has not come to terms with something. So some of you, there is this piece of needing to move on possibly from the past. Some of you, it's that Three of Cups in reverse from group 1 where we talked about your friends not being there for you. Some of you need to move away from, some of you need to move on, not from, I almost feel like move on from the pain or disappointment of these people not being here for you. It's not always because of the people being bad. People that we love can only show up as much as they can in any given moment. And sometimes what they can show up with is not enough. But they are showing up with what they have. And so some of you, this is like a card of forgiveness for a little bit, about allowing this pain of, these people not supporting you the way that you wanted, allowing that to kind of move in the past. Now, I'm not saying that you still have to be friends with this person, but I do feel like there is this like piece of needing to forgive in a way, or needing to move past this. Some of you, this is about needing to move away, possibly even from what this blocked or failed wish is. I feel like a lot of you, this has this energy of like needing to recoup and needing to like go back through the pieces to figure out maybe where things went wrong, because we talked about this wish being blocked. So some of you, you could have been wishing for any multitude of things. You could have been wishing for a new job. You could have been wishing for a new house or place to move into. And things maybe didn't work out the way that you wanted them to. And so you need to move on from the disappointment of the loss of these things as well too. Because staying in this energy of lack, staying in this energy of, things not working out, watch your words, because they become your reality. And so staying stuck in this energy is not helping you move into this new peace that you want for yourself. This thing. And it's also not helping you unlock this Nine of Cups, this wish that you wanted in the first place. Now let's move on to the future piece here. We have the Swan Spirit, which says time for a deep dive. A lot of you with this card, this is going to mean that you need to take a deep look inward. This is part of the recuperation process, right? When you have experienced some sort of loss, when you have experienced some sort of disappointment, we have to take a deep dive a lot of times to figure out Firstly, why it is that we wanted this thing in the first place. What was it about this that we wanted, that attracted us to this opportunity? Was it for status? Was it for happiness or more freedom in certain things? We have to not only take a deep dive about our motivations, but we also have to take a deep dive within ourselves to figure out, like, what is it that my heart wanted from this, you know? I think a lot of times, you know, if we want recognition, it comes from a place of like wanting to be seen, right? Wanting to be understood. Wanting, some people want success because they want to be known in a way, right? But there's also that deep dive about your motivations, about why you wanted to do this. And so, you know, I guess you have to understand your own motivations for why you wanted this in the first place. Was it serving some sort of purpose for you? Was it some sort of recognition that you wanted? Or was it some unhealed part of you that was expecting this thing to bring you happiness? Because that's another portion, right? Maybe you wanted to go after this job or this new place to escape from a past life or situation. Things didn't work out, and so now you're stuck where you were, where you started. And, you know, the healing comes from within, right? It comes from within. It's not something that you can escape or run away from. It's going to keep following you, really. So time for a deep dive. A lot of you need to do some deep inner work, shadow work. I mean, this is the time for it. New moon energy. This is a fresh start. So take a deep dive. Get into your motivations. Get into your inspirations behind wanting to do this thing. Take the deep dive. Don't be afraid to do it. And really start to get curious about what your future moving forward would look like too, and about why you want this for yourself. Your next card here is the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, so a lot of you, this could very well be work related. Now, pentacles are often associated with money, you know, but it's about a lot more than just money and finances. Pentacles are material things. They're resources. There we go. Resources. We have more than just money as a resource. We have time, we have energy, we have skills, things like that. Those are resources that we have available to us. Nothing is wasted. I mean, we talked about this feeling of lack, this feeling of not having enough at the very beginning of this reading. But the Queen of Pentacles is someone who is resourceful. They have the ability to take their resources, their things that they have, and to invest their skills, invest their knowledge in order to grow something. The Queen of Pentacles is usually about fertility in a way, and not just like physical fertility, but yes, physical fertility oftentimes, but also like just fertility of, you know, self, fertility of skills. This is someone who is able to invest and receive a return or a profit from something. Now, this to me also is very much Taurus energy, because Taurus is a feminine sign, and it is also an earth sign, and this is a feminine earth card here, essentially. This is the Queen of Pentacles. So a lot of you, I would encourage you to check out what house Taurus falls in for you, because that's going to be an important thing that's going to be an important piece of what this moon is doing for you, where you are expanding at this time. But also, I think a lot of us need to expand our beliefs about ourselves, our beliefs about our ability to manifest. You know, I feel like a lot of us in this reading are stuck with this lack mindset. Hello. I feel like a lot of us at this time are stuck with this lack mindset. And so the Queen of Pentacles, this is someone who's resourceful, who is able to, you know, manifest and to build these things, to grow something. So I think that, you know, there is good stuff coming ahead from this. There is this abundant. Salem? So I think a lot of us at this time especially have to reevaluate, you know, our beliefs about ourselves. Time for that deep dive with the Swan Spirit. You have to take a deep dive into your own beliefs. Do you see yourself? Salem, I love you so much. So the Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. You know, a lot of us have to dive deep into how we feel about ourselves, how we view ourselves. The Queen of Pentacles, do you view yourself as this person? Do you view yourself as capable, as someone who is actually able to expand? Do you see yourself as successful? Or are you, you know, watch your words. Are you saying negative things about yourself? Are you cutting off your own blessing before you receive it because of negative self-talk? So, part of that deep dive is evaluating this, the way that you are viewing yourself. But let's also talk about your last card here for this set. And this is the Hanged Man in reverse. The Hanged Man is a card that finds themselves between two worlds. This is actually a person that is straddling the reality between life and death. So this card has kind of this hesitation, but it also has this dual aspect of like being able to understand both sides of something. It has this dual aspect about being able to see both sides of the same situation, but also being able to, respect that you are between two different realities right now. You are between a world in which and also two decisions, really. There is like a hesitation for a decision, but really I feel like it's mainly about this two different ways that you see yourself, these two worlds or two options that you have in place for yourself. And that is to keep viewing yourself in this past position as someone who is lacking, someone who has to be, hyper independent because they can't rely on other people around them? Or are you going to switch your mindset, take a deep dive, and start to see yourself as someone who is actually really abundant in a lot of different ways, and even in unexpected ways that you may not necessarily recognize right away for yourself? So this has a piece of it about being between two different worlds, the world of the living and the world of the dead. I mean, this is literally like the last breath that you take on this earth. Breathing is a part of life, and when you take your last one, yeah, you're alive, kind of, but you're also on death's doorstep. So, it is this kind of like last breath before moving into a new life, the life of death or the underworld or whatever it is that you're and death is kind of like a different aspect of life, right? It's all part of the same cycle here, and there is, depending on your beliefs, there is life after death, right? So it's kind of like thinking that you're moving from one life into the next life. So a lot of you, you could be on the cusp of this new life for yourself, on the cusp of this new opportunity that you want. But this card is also showing up in reverse, right? So I think for some of you, it's going to caution you against making a choice right away. You need to stay in this place a little bit longer because there may be some more lessons or learning that needs to be done. But also, I think for some of you, if you've been feeling discouraged about not being able to achieve this 9 of Cups that you wanted, not being able to move forward into whatever this wish was for yourself, this pause that is happening right now is happening for a reason. This thing is happening, and there's nothing that can be done about it at this point. And so you just kind of have to sit tight. You have to sit tight and wait, because even though it may not be time right now for this 9 of Cups to manifest, it doesn't necessarily mean that it never will. And this pause is actually a good time to take a deep dive and reevaluate why you want this in the first place and what your next step moving forward is. If you make a decision too fast, you may even be, making it harder and harder to get to where you want to go. So take that with a grain of salt, make sure that you are taking breaks, taking time to actually that's not the one I want. Here we go. So make sure that you're taking breaks. Make sure that you are taking time to connect with yourself. Don't rush into things too fast. And also, respect where you are at right now. Respect the pause. We can't always be go, go, go all the time. We burn the candle at both ends, So respect where you're at right now. Respect the pause. All right. This is our last card for the reading today. This is from The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. And I just love leaving the readings off with this message from the universe about how it's supporting you or, things like that. So your card that you received here is, in any moment, I can surrender to the powerful presence of love through prayer, contemplation, and stillness. Stillness. I mean, we had the Hangman in reverse. That is stillness itself. That is pause. That is taking the time to wait and listen before making a move. So, take time take time to rest, take time to connect so that you can move forward. I mean, we did say that this is a Taurus new moon. This is a time to connect with the earth and connect with, you know, your ability to grow. It may seem like a pause. It may seem like something that is not growing. If you've just planted a seed, you know, don't dig up the dirt checking for growth every day. You're going to kill it. You need to allow things time and stillness to grow on its own. We can't force things to happen when it's not ready. So, you know, connect, surrender, really. Because even if we want something really bad, it doesn't always mean it's going to happen. We have to surrender to things happening on its own time. It's like I'm reminded of like manifestation, right? It's not something that's going to happen immediately. Oftentimes, it's not going to happen immediately. It's something that we're kind of focusing our mind on to guide ourselves and our action towards. But it doesn't mean that we're trying to instant gratification manifest something. And oftentimes, if you are trying to manifest instant gratification, you won't get it. Because you end up focusing more on your lack of having this thing than you do on this thing. I hope that makes sense. So, anyway, that is the collective reading for this Taurus new moon that we have today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel and watching this video. I am hoping to feel better soon. I'm still working with my doctor, so as of right now, I am not sure really when I will get back to doing weekly zodiac readings, but I am going to be trying to do more of these collective readings, and I am going to be doing more along the lines of timeless readings as well too. So that way, if I do need to take a break, there's not exactly too much missing timeline-wise. And, you know, weekly readings are one of those things, they're good for a week, right? I hope that this was able to help you today, and I look forward to seeing you all again in the next video.